Hello and welcome back to Soon 73 Tai Chi. Today we'll be going over move number 50. You have come so far. Yes, you're getting close. Well done. You already know move number 50, so this will be an easy lesson for you because move number 50 is leisurely Tai Chi. You've probably already done your warm-ups. I know you have. And if you haven't, you're turning off the video right now to do them. It makes a difference. And once you're warmed up, tuned in with every part of the body, connected with the breath and your exquisite posture, and you know where your 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock are, we will begin our 73 Tai Chi flows, starting now, where all the weight shifts to the left foot, but don't lean. A lot of people will lean there at the very beginning. We just shift the weight. And here we are now, facing around 10 or 11 o'clock. Stepping out in that direction, feeling like we are the masters of ourselves. We can control the movements of this body and turn it into effortless grace. For me, a key to that is to remember to breathe. Thank you, Soon 73, for building in awareness of the breath in our open and close. And single whip left. Palms face the front until right palm turns to face 3 o'clock in lifting hands. Right heel touches, palms open to 12 and push to 12. Before palm facing palm again in our mindful belly breath. In through the nose, opens hands. Out through the nose, allows them to come together. Brush knee left begins towards 9 o'clock. And we know that's followed by playing the lute, which looks an awful lot like higher horse. And here we have our parry, our second parry, and then punch with right fist punching over the left forearm. So a lot of times I see people with this up high. You want that left forearm low so that you're punching more at the base of the rib cage where the diaphragm is to knock the wind out if you would ever have to. But you're smarter than that. You breathe fully. You are aware of your environment, and you don't get in those kinds of situations. I know. We have our brush knee right towards 3 o'clock, followed by the full leisurely Tai Chi. Right palm towards the belly, up to the chest or middle dantian, where it extends, palm open to the sky, being led by the movement of the waist or lower dantian, which we connect with every time we come back here in our breathe in, hands open, breathe out, hands closed. Stepping back with the left foot for our uprooting push to 12 o'clock as we shift the weight backwards. And reorienting towards 9 o'clock for right fist punching under left elbow. Holding a baby on the right hip, you could say, in our empty stance before stepping on the left heel in a repulse monkey towards 6 o'clock. We have stepping on the right heel in repulse monkey towards 12 o'clock. Leads us right into brush knee left towards 9 o'clock and leisurely Tai Chi with the left hand now drawing energy in towards the body, letting it rise up to the chest and extending. Here, it's how far we can keep the nose and navel connected, dictating how far we turn, reorienting to 9 o'clock for the uprooting push, returning back to the front of our space for another mindful breath in open and close. Single whip right is next, so it's the right foot that steps to 12. The palms turn to 12 for the push, and turning the waist opens the left hand. We withdraw the right side of our whip, and then a little floaty side step leads us to our first. Wave hands like clouds to the right. We know that ideally here the feet are shoulder width with the toes forward. Sometimes we do not achieve that, but that's okay. I would rather be human than robot. And it takes a little practice to get to move this body and master it. That's why we take a third step in our wave hands like clouds before right hand reaches out for higher horse. Right foot steps back and left bubbling well touches on the brake. We reorient the body towards 3 o'clock and then open chi in hand for toe kick left towards 1:30 or 2. We connect with the idea of energy between the hands and the whole body in toe kick right. And our punch down. The hands circle onto the right hip. 2 fists form and we look down at the right hand while sinking. Then we turn and look to 9 o'clock before bringing out the right foot. Flipping the fists, we punch over the right arm. Then both fists open as the right foot steps, bringing up left knee. The foot goes down behind us, slapping right leg. Also down behind us. Both hands palm facing palm, like holding energy and circling it up and around to face 9 o'clock, forming 2 fists to squeeze all the muscles and subdue the tiger. Opening hands for our toe kick left towards 10:30, where we can spin if you like, or maybe like me, you like the step, up to you. Occasionally I spin, but then we bring in our heel kick right and reorient towards 9 o'clock in our parry. Step with the toes out as hands flip. Shift the weight for the second parry. And then step with the right foot to punch over, relax right forearm. We withdraw, gathering chi to push the mountain. Adjusting the left foot so that the right foot can turn in to face 6 o'clock at shoulder width for another mindful breath in open and close. Now standing on the right foot, looking towards 1:30 or 2 on our clock, stepping on the left heel for our brush knee left, and leisurely tie coat. Left hand comes up over the right. Left hand draws into the belly and rises to the chest. Here there's space between the thumb and forefinger. Then the left hand relaxes more. Fingers pointing to the sky. Right foot slightly in front of where the left turns in, facing 3 o'clock for another mindful breath in open and close hands. Diagonal single whip. Right foot stepping to 3 o'clock, uprooting push. Moves us to move 39, which is parting the wild horse's mane, facing 3 o'clock. Left hand and foot circle in and out together. Dropping the weight to the left foot so right hand and foot can circle in together. The last part of parting the wild horse's mane, we touch left bubbling well, right hand rises in a little flare. In today's lesson, we touch the left heel, the right hand scoops up, we bring up the right bubbling well, and then we step into chop to the throat, or our leisurely Tai Chi. And hopefully you have a little more space. Since we know it, from there, we come right back to 12 o'clock for another open and close. From the front, so you can see the whole thing. Our last lesson, we covered parting the wild horse's mane, which we get to from the diagonal single whip. So we have one step in our wild horse's mane. We have 2 steps in our wild horse's mane. And then we touch the left bubbling well. So today, as the hands descend, let me come back in frame. As the hands descend, we touch the right heel. We shift the weight to the right foot. The right hand scoops up chi as we touch the right bubbling well. Then we step into chop to the throat towards 3 o'clock. And you know that already. Once we've done our uprooting push to 3 o'clock, the left foot points at 12 so that the right foot can just pivot in to face 12 o'clock for open and close. Let's go through it in proper orientation. So here's our 3 o'clock. If that's my 12 o'clock in my front, that's my 3 o'clock or my right. We know that we've gone through our diagonal single whip, and our parting the wild horse's mane is 1 step with the left foot, 1 step with the right foot, and then the left bubbling well touches. So now, as the hands descend, touch the left heel. Shift the weight to the left foot. Scoop up the right hand to the belly. Touch right bubbling well. Then step to 3 and lead into the chop to the throat. We circle from the waist. And we end with that uprooting push to 3. We get our left follow step lined up so that the left heel lines up with the right heel and the right toes can just pivot back to 12 o'clock for open and close. I think I better give myself a little more space. I'm going to come back further. So our diagonal single whip leads us to step 1 with the left foot. Step 2 with the right foot. Step 3, touch the left bubbling well. Now, in leisurely Tai Chi, as the hands descend, touch the left heel. Shift the weight. The right hand scoops up chi at the belly. We touch right bubbling well before stepping to 3, and the right hand does a chop to the throat. The follow left foot goes back, takes our weight, turning from the waist. Right hand drops in front of the chest for our final push towards 3 o'clock. Left foot aligns so that right toes can pivot towards 12 o'clock for open and close as we end that little segment where we're facing 6 o'clock and the diagonals. Let's add that in a couple more times. We know we have our diagonal single whip. That leads us to parting the wild horse's mane. Step 1 with the left foot, hand. Step 2 with the right foot, and the hand follows. Step 3, you could say, is just touching the bubbling well for the flare. Now touch the left heel. Scoop up chi with right hand. We touch the right bubbling well just for a moment before stepping now towards 3 o'clock for the chop to the throat. You know this move, so I'm not going to belabor the details. If you're not too sure, go back to the beginning, here back to the front, back to 12 o'clock for open and close. If you're not quite sure of the details of the hand movements of leisurely Tai Chi, go back to section 1 videos where we go over all the details of leisurely Tai Chi to the right and all the hand movements. But for now, we're just taking it in flow with our parting the wild horse's mane. So we face 3 o'clock, left hand and foot circle together. Shift the weight, drop the right hand and foot, they circle together. Both hands descend as we touch left, bubbling well, right wrist under left, flare, touch the left heel, roll the foot flat. Right hand comes into the navel, palm up, touching right bubbling well briefly before stepping to 3 o'clock for the chop to the throat. A little turn from the waist leads us back to 3 o'clock. And the pinky side push, aligning the left heel so that the right toes can just pivot in towards 12 for another open and close. We'll have another very brief lesson on open and close. After this video, we'll add that one. Because it's good to know a lot about breathing. Do you know you breathe around 50 to 70,000 breaths every single day? We would hope that we are doing it well enough to feed the mind body with oxygen. And on that thought, let's take a breath here in our form where we open and close facing 3 o'clock and step into right foot towards 3 o'clock in our diagonal single whip and parting the wild horse's mane. Right hand anchors the space, then left hand anchors the space, and then the right foot holds our position as we touch left bubbling well, right hand under left for the flare as the hands descend, touch left heel. Shift the weight. The right hand comes in, palm up as we touch bubbling well briefly to step into chop to the throat, where the right hand is fully open, space between index finger and thumb until hand returns to the chest for uprooting pinky side push to 3. Align the left foot with toes to 12 so that the right toes can pivot back to face 12 o'clock in our fingers up, open and close posture. Let's do one more together. It's a nice little flow when you get that whole sequence going. Diagonal single whip leads us to parting the wild horse's mane, first the left hand and foot, then the right hand and foot, then the left bubbling well touches as we move into the open hand flare, touching the left heel, right hand comes in, left hand touches pinky side, brief touch of bubbling well before stepping to 3 for the chop to the throat. We only turn as far as we can keep nose over navel, returning to 3 o'clock for the pinky side push, aligning left foot and right. In our next move is the open and close. Nice. I feel the need to do it one more time from 6 o'clock. If you want to go from the very beginning and add it into your form, go back to the beginning of the video where we have the whole thing. So here we are, facing 6 o'clock for a mindful breath in open and close, where we hold the baby on the right hip. We look to 130 or 2, stepping on the left heel, toe to 130 or 2 for brush knee left, and leisurely Tai Chi to the left. So now the left palm comes in to the belly, turns to face the sky, and the right hand pushes out the chop to the throat, you could say. The right fingers come around the left wrist to the thumb side to accentuate the push with the karate hand. Right foot slightly closer to 3. We bring in left foot to face 3 o'clock for our open and close. And diagonal single whip. Right foot stepping towards 3 o'clock. Open the palms to push and open the whip. Parting the wild horse's mane. Step 1 with left hand and foot. And step 2 with right hand and foot. Step 3 with left bubbling well, touching as right wrist rises. Touch the right heel as the hands descend. Touch right bubbling well, stepping towards 3 o'clock for the chop to the throat. Little turn from the waist. And if I had room, I'd step a little towards 3 for that pinky side push, orienting left foot and right foot back to 12 o'clock. And I'm just going to throw in another breath. In as hands open and out as hands close. I feel like I got to show you from the front one more time, just so you can see the whole thing. So, parting the wild horse's mane, left, then right, and then touch left bubbling well in the flare. Then the heel touches. We scoop up chi with the right hand as right bubbling well touches. Then it steps towards 3 o'clock for the chop to the throat. Turn and come back to our pinky side push towards 3 o'clock, aligning the left foot to 12, the right foot adjusts to 12 o'clock. And of course, I'm going to throw in one more video after this for some details about breathing in that next open and close. It'll be a brief lesson. Thank you so much for joining me today.